Evening, everybody. Welcome to Lethal Sales. A nice crowd tonight. Welcome back, Brian Maxwell. Tonight's topic is it's almost spring, and we're excited about the spring season, the spring selling season, and everything else that happens in spring. So let's talk about what we're doing to prepare for the spring season. Let's start with Peter.
Oh, thanks, Ron. No, and as they say, spring is love is in the air, and if I have to say something, I love the car business, and I know it's cliche, but it's the actual reality of it. It is so amazing to be a part of this business. Everybody in it, the opportunities, the platforms, the manufacturers, everything. I don't think there's anything that I can say that I don't love about it. Having said that, spring is when all the changes happen in the dealerships. Typically, it's it's a challenge to a lot because they start thinking that we have to install new things, and one of the things that they do look at is people rather than actually look to coach and train the people. They this is the first cut, and I like to turn around and say, hey, you know what, forget about the old three T's, which is train, transfer, and terminate. How about we train, we transfer ownership of that person to another person and then move on. And if we can do that, I think moving into the spring, we can actually elevate the opportunities. So, and Josh just put it up there that he's already seen 5 terminations this year already, and that's because there's fear in the air, and that's because we're coming down after the COVID. Um, how would you say the people that were drunk on COVID did, and now they're on the they're on the hangover, and now they're on the panic. So, what do you say, Larry? What do you see with the spring?
Well, before I get to spring, I want to tip my hat to somebody because this show has really been a pleasure for me to be associated with. I've met so many good people and either grown friendships or made new friendships. And the guy that's really responsible for this is Brian Maxwell. Brian caught my act and I caught his act through videos, and we developed a mutual admiration society. And he called me up one day and he said, Larry, I really like what you do. I said, Brian, I like what you do. He says, well, I just saw Lethal Weapon. I'm like, uh-huh. He says, well, think about it. You got a tall black guy and you got a crazy white guy. So it's perfect. We'll have our own show. But but unfortunately, or fortunately, as the case may be, Brian had just gotten married and was running around like a nut. And it got to the point where he finally reached out to me and said, man, I either want to be all in or all out. But as far as I'm concerned, he's Emerdius. He's always welcome. And he's the guy that really put my bug in the ear and started the show. So I just want to give him a tip of the hat because he's such a good guy, and he's the conduit that I got to meet all you folks and run around with. Now, as far as spring, um, I'm going to tell you a little secret about Larry Phelps. Um, I have a lot of schizophrenia to me. I'm the one guy you want to hang with in the summer. I used to literally stay up 2 nights. Remember, I don't do drugs. Stay up 2 nights, go to the dealership, sell 3 cars, play a show with my band. I'm Superman in the summer. In the winter, I'm your grandmother. Every part of my body hurts. And this big nose starts running. It's ugly. But I had a few people say to me in class when I tell little stories about dealing with everything. Yeah, I bet you were no good in the winter. I said, no, I was the best salesman that ever lived in the winter because my philosophy was if I was going to get out of my warm bed and freeze my butt off, I was going to come home and be successful. All good drivers know you steer into the skid because if you steer the other way, you lose control. So every season, just like every day should be appreciated for what it is and what it's not. Okay, we got it right. You got to get through. My man
Right
Russell
on,
Hill,
baby.
my man Russell Hill tell you got to get to the bad through the bad times to appreciate the good times, right? You know, to get Martin Luther King, get rid of the darkness, you just got to bring some light into the room. So there is no bigger appreciator of the spring and summer because I can go back to playing basketball and tennis outside, not freezing my butt off. But we're, you know, none of us are 18 anymore, and we should appreciate every season and every day and every minute. Because every day I pick up the damn newspaper and somebody died, or on the internet somebody passed away. So I'm celebrating spring. I love the warmth. I'm thrilled. But man, I got to tell you, and if I sound corny, you guys can shut me off. I'm glad I'm breathing. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I'm having fun. Because I'm telling you, I'm in my own little bizarro world. Everything to me is here. I had an iced tea. The iced tea is great. Okay. I was looking forward to the show tonight. Earlier on, I got on with Peter, who is the most technical guy I know, Rhonda, who's in the middle, and me, who's an imbecile. And within 8 minutes, we collapsed LinkedIn. We just put the whole thing out of business. I got a kick out of that. So that's all I want to say is spring,
Carpe
summer,
diem, baby.
fall.
Carpe diem.
Okay, so let me just jump on that for 1 second.
Which part? Because I rambled a bit there.
About your positivity. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle.
Oh, wait a minute. You're quoting my own website.
Yes,
That's the Einstein quote that I put up.
Absolutely. The post of the day. So
Peter, you can't be spending all day looking at my website. There is this thing out called porno. Me and Mike Larkin will show it to you right after the show. Jeff Scherer is married.
Don't bring me into this.
So no, seriously there. So if we look at it and we look at positivity, we can either be, and as I wrote in my response to your, what I called the post of the day, was one thing. You can either have a glass half full or half empty. It's your choice. In my life, the glass is always full, not half full. It's positive. You're on the right side of the dirt. It's a good day. So,
and everybody, and Peter, as my father used to say, everybody in the graveyard would get up and take every one of your problems. The stuff that we moan and groan about is nothing. It's senseless and it's pointless. 100 years from now, we'll all be gone and none of this will matter. If we don't light up every day, it's a sin against God. It's a sin against our family. It's a sin against what we're doing. Because the crazy thing is, this all comes from the inside out. If you think you're having a good day and you can turn people around, you will. And if you, right, Russell, you will like it when I quote Thoreau, who said, most men lead lives of quiet desperation. If you drive to work like this is going to suck. I hate it. Why get out of bed? So exactly. I'm telling you, I've seen extra buoyant. Rhonda and I were just talking that I need even more training. By the time I got home, 3 dealerships called me and wanted me to do more training. Plus, on top of that, Rhonda's hot. And she actually bought me a burger. How good is my
Rhonda,
life?
Right on.
Good-looking women are feeding me. Okay.
And you got to see Rhonda in a spacesuit today.
Yeah. I get on the damn internet. Now, listen to me. I have trouble using my Mac card when I go to get money out. And he's got Rhonda floating around in a spacesuit. And boy, did she get a kick out of that. But once again, life's so short. Why not have fun? Why not turn the volume?
Exactly.
I don't get it.
So
all right, enough with Peter. Okay. Enough with you and me. We got a zillion guests. Who should I'll bow to you, my friend. Who should we jump in next? You know what? Why don't we hit Larkin? He's got that handsome
gets
hat.
to go first.
Go ahead, Michael.
Mike.
Hey guys.
Thanks, Mike. That's all we need. We just wanted to get you in. No, I'm sorry.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Hey, good
Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike.
March is my favorite month and my least favorite month. A lot of things happened in the month of March. The good. It's going to be St. Patrick's Day in the middle of the month. I'm Irish, so yeah, great. We buried my dad on St. Patrick's Day. So that's the bad, but great memories.
My mother
As-
too.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm looking forward to this year and the spring. And so I'm March is, bittersweet is where I stand with March and the springtime. So Mike, and I'm dropping my mic. But
Hey, Mike,
yeah,
wait a minute. You know I
yeah,
love you to death. Not a little
yeah,
bit, to death. So I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to tell you the best clean Irish joke of all time.
it's about time.
All right? This bartender sees a guy walk into his bar, and he sits down and he says, "Whiskey 3." So he sets up 3 whiskeys. He figures he's waiting for his buddies. He drinks them all himself. Everything the guy orders is 3. Bartender serves him, but when he leaves, the bartender follows him out and sees he's walking, not driving. So he becomes a regular, and the bartender says to him one night, "Can I just ask you a question? Why do you always order 3?" He says, "Me brothers Mick and Patty didn't have enough money to come over from the old country. I'm here first, and I swore every time I drank in this great country, I would drink for the 3 of us." He shakes his hand. He says, "You're touching me hard. I'm Irish myself. Just tell me what you want. I always set up 3." Goes on for 1 month, Michael. He comes in one night. He says, "Whiskey, but just make it 2." The bartender's heart sinks. He serves him all night. Right before closing, he says, "Tell me true. Is there a problem with Mick and Pat?" He goes, "No, they're fine, but me, I gave up drinking." We'll get some mileage out of that, Mike.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that one.
All right, you know what? I see Fred Thorn on. Fred, will Wendy let you actually talk tonight?
Nope. Can't hear you.
The ultimate marriage. He tries to speak. She doesn't even need the mute button. I love it.
No, I was wondering where she got those pictures from. Those Lester's pictures.
I don't know, my buddy.
Can't hear you.
Wendy.
She's muted. Yes.
We have
Here we
friends.
go. Hey, wait a minute, Fred. I didn't get you anything for Christmas, but I just figured out a way to mute Wendy. That's got to be a point. That's better than like socks or a sweater, isn't it?
You got a present.
Fred, it's spring, my brother. I love you. I respect you. I always have fun when I'm hanging with you, and you have a great perspective on life, maybe the best. Tell us a little bit about how you see spring and the seasons, and just keep rolling, man.
I mean, it's nice out here because it don't get cold, in the wintertime. Spring's nice. We know summer's coming quick for us. And means I don't know what it is, 70s outside. I haven't been out a little bit walking out, but yeah, it's really nice down here. Just
Yes.
who is that? now?
Huh?
Do you want anything else?
Yeah.
Somebody who's not muted.
They are now.
Huh.
No problem.
Anyways, no, spring is nice. Me and Wendy would just come back from Tucson yesterday. We drove down and do some training, and I mean, it was nice to get out of the valley. It's all like, well, for us, we're in the northwest of Phoenix, so it takes like, what, 2 hours? Something like that to get there. And I caught up with a cousin of mine who I hadn't seen him that much throughout my life. We seen him 6, 7 years ago. No, we didn't know that long. About 4 or 5 years ago, we went down there. And I looked him up because I hadn't seen him for like 40 years. And then seen him, and again, he's got cerebral palsy. He's on government assistance, but he's like, he's 69. Anyway, so but I had a good day though.
Good. Hey, if you guys don't mind, my man Brian Maxwell's on here. I gave him a heap of praise. Brian, you're married, you're rocking and rolling, and you reappeared on the show that you founded. Let's hear some good words from you, my brother.
And he's not an
What's up,
Airbnb.
What's up? What's up, everybody? I'm glad Larry and I spoke the other day, and he invited me, He said, come on back, come on over and check us out. I said, yeah, I miss stopping in and getting with everybody. But I've been following y'all, and I'll watch Mike post a lot of different clips and stuff like that. So I follow along and listen and be picking up stuff. I'm just ecstatic. So I'm going to say what I feel about the spring. This spring in particular is phenomenal. Super Tuesday was awesome last night. So going into this spring, I'm extremely ecstatic. The way everything.
Oh, they don't understand what you're saying. The only black
I
man
do.
on earth that likes Trump more than him is Tim Scott, and it's close.
Yeah, just no, everything is great. Living here in Florida, obviously we get pretty cool weather all the time, but this is my favorite time of year right now, living in Florida. The spring and the fall. Summertime, I can't really stand it. It's too hot. But right now everything is well. Marriage is great. We're gonna be pretty busy. Her birthday is in a week and a half. Then we got our anniversary in May, and we going on a cruise in April. So
now,
Right
is she getting along with your girlfriend? Because you told me earlier on there was
no,
some
don't get me in no smoke. We newlyweds. Them type of jokes don't go well yet.
Yeah.
Brian, it's great to see you, man.
Glad to see everybody.
Please don't be a stranger, my brother.
No. I definitely won't. And like I say, y'all on 7, I'm on the same time zone. I said I'm on. But then my Murphy's Law, my camera started acting crazy, but I got it right. So we good.
Problem.
Thank you for having me, man.
You couldn't, brother, you're emeritus. Whatever, anytime you want to be on, we'll feature a damn show around you if you'd like.
The community show.
Yep. All right, we got my buddy Ron Baus, who owns Spirit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and might be the nicest dealer any of you guys will ever meet. We got Joshua Taylor, man, he can fix it, break it, fix it again. And we got Durran Cage. Between him and Wendy, we got the BDC stuff sewn up. Don't tell Sean Armour.
Hold on there 1 second, Larry. We got Tony on. That Tony normally has to book it at 7:30. So why don't we listen to what Tony thinks of the spring, especially that he's having a Wisconsin summer right now.
Okay. Go ahead, man. You're up, brother.
You got to mute.
Tone?
He's coming. He's trying.
Oh.
He's cursing.
No, Tony doesn't do that.
He's pressing buttons.
There it goes. There it goes.
There we go.
And this is a difficult thing to run off of an iPhone. Hey, good to be here, guys. Thanks, Larry. Thanks for asking me to join you. Man, I'm telling you, March is a great month for me. This year, March 4th, I celebrated 20 years since my kidney transplant. 20 years.
Congratulations, brother.
20 years. Listen, I've had a kidney transplant and 2 heart operations, and I am doing amazing. The first heart operation was surgical. The second one was when Jesus Christ pulled my heart out of my chest, warmed it up, put it back in, and made me a new creation. And I am so thankful for that. So the spring every year is just amazing for me. And then I've got a birthday coming up real soon, and things are going unbelievable. Got some great news today. Stay tuned. Big news for myself and my career, and I can't share it now, but I'm really excited. A little nervous, but very excited about an opportunity that was laid at my feet today, and now I'm just going to pray about it with my friends here, and make sure that the Lord's leading this decision and not me, because if I'm going to lead it, I'm going to screw it up. So I want to lean on Him.
We know you'll make that. We're so happy for you, and we know you'll make the right decision, brother.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think it's more the Hindus than the Bible that say the Lord never gives you anything more than you can handle.
That's right.
This is true. This is true. I got big shoulders, but not as big as many. But I'll just lean on Him, and that'll be good. I'll be good. Someone once said, a great man by the name of Paul, and he said, to live is Christ, to die is gain. So guys, go out and live, enjoy your lives, enjoy this spring, man. Does it not feel like a whole new year,
Yes.
day. It's like, isn't it so hopeful? Doesn't spring give you so much hope?
Spring
Wait a
is
minute.
a rebirth.
Tony,
Get
that's
that time
why
back.
I think everybody that I know that's smart loves the car business. Because you could be having the worst afternoon of your life, and by midnight you sold 2 cars. The beauty of this is we're the ultimate renewal business and redemption business because things can turn around that quick.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference getting off of work at 6 and it's dark versus getting off at 8.
Yeah.
And it being dark. That's a huge thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for allowing me to share. I'm going to go study the word. We're in John chapter 14, closing it out. John's last words, before everything happened at the end there. But so tonight's going to be a good study, and I'm going to let you go. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
We're happy about your opportunity, brother. Congrats.
Yep, and fill us in as soon as it's okay to do it because we'd love to hear your progress and cheer you and coach you on.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Care.
Thanks for your support. Yep.
Tony,
Hey, how about
Tony,
it?
hold
Only
on.
because he's usually surrounded by the kids and all kinds of business. How about if we get my man Durran in and then jump in with Joshua? I see
Wendy, did you have
Darren's on.
something?
Wait,
One second. Wendy had a question.
Go ahead,
before
Wendy, I'm
Tony
sorry.
leaves, Tony, don't forget to pitch APA tomorrow.
Hey, don't forget to pitch APA tonight, guys. The APA.
APA
I'm sorry,
today
I
for
forgot.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Wait,
APA.
today?
Automotive Partners Association. We hang
Clubhouse.
together, we work together, we feature each other, and
Thursday.
it's just a bunch of good people. And of course, Wendy, as usual, along with April and everybody, kicked butt today on the human side of AI.
Man, that was freaking amazing.
Thanks for reminding me, Wendy. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great night.
Excellent.
Stay healthy.
You too.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh or Durran, whoever would like to jump in, let's hear some kind thoughts as to what you think spring's got in store for you. Go ahead, Joshua.
Well, it's spring, so the first thing that comes to mind as a veteran on the shop floor is tire season. And right now, just about every technician on the planet that deals with tire swaps is going, well, shit, I'm about to hurt everywhere for about 6 weeks straight. So I would suggest that if you have technicians in your lives that you want to take care of, send them a gift card for a massage, because that might be the thing that they need the most, and when they can use it whenever.
Yeah,
From springtime, I'm looking forward to getting on my motorcycle. The faster it can warm up and dry out this ice, I want to get on my motorcycle. And as we come into summer, there's all kinds of different opportunities that are going to present. I want to see Fix Up's marketing accelerate from where we are now to hit 600 by the end of the year. And we're doing everything we possibly can to maximize our customer experience to make that happen. And I want to book 2 more paid speaking engagements by the end of the year. That's what's spring involved for me.
And
We're
that's
gonna work to
exactly
help
what's
you.
going to
And
happen for you, brother.
We're going to work. And please, when you're when you're doing your motorcycling, please wear your helmet, my buddy.
Absolutely. It's a requirement. I like my head too much for it to not be still attached if I come off the bike.
Yep.
Good luck to you, Josh.
Yeah, we'll help you get where you need to be, man. You're too good of a guy. Durran, how are things with the Durran family? Everybody good?
Yes, it is. I was gonna go on camera. Hold on, we just got back, so it's perfect timing. Can you see me?
There
we go.
Mr. K.
Man, this has been such a great conversation. Hey, what's up, B Maxwell? I heard you. But man, this has been an exciting show. And what I would say, Larry, and to you, to everybody on here, was like today I got the opportunity to serve and be at a dealership today. And what I enjoyed about springtime is that the doors were open, literally. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if some of your dealerships you've seen it out there, but when the front entrance is wide open, I mean, there was customers everywhere, and the employees, they were high vibrational and just excited, and it was great. I launched. There was two ladies that were joining the internet team, and so I got to train them. But everybody's attitude and mindset was so great. So I would say, to echo what's been said, is the sun. It brings a much better environment. It's heating up. And when the employees feel good, we talk about this, but when the employees feel good and their mindset is right, and they've got a little bit of a longer day, but it's encouraging. All of a sudden, it seems like even people are waking up earlier, which sounds crazy, but they're waking up earlier. They're excited. They're getting there. Another thing that happens during this time is we tend to eat differently. You notice that? Like me, I'm plant-based. Most of you guys know that. I don't eat meat or anything like that. And so I get the opportunity to start planting in my garden. So I got a big garden. I live in the country. And so doing all those things, having that green thumb, and people that are out there planting flowers and stuff like that, all that, better fruits, better flavors. So that's what I'm excited for, man, is just to have new produce, both in vegetables and fruits, but also new produce with business, right? To expand our business and our minds.
So
thank you so much.
Durran,
This has been an exciting
when you start
show.
growing hamburgers, call me and I'll come over for dinner. I don't know about that plant-based stuff.
I don't think you want the hamburgers. I'm gonna grow.
So Durran, I'll give you the word of the day for a beautiful one like today is radiate. It just, everything seems to radiate. When the doors are open, you can just feel the warmth of everything, from the people to the energy to everything. So I really appreciate what
But
you
that's
just,
even at the house, right? Even when you're at home, you ever had them good days? Like right now, I got my windows open. We had a really, really cloudy day today
There
here in
she is.
Florida, and the winds was going, and man, my chickens was out there doing their thing, and it's just great. So that's another really good thing about
okay,
spring.
I have to interject there for 1 second. If you haven't watched it, watch Brian's video of him with the chickens.
I gotta see it.
Hey,
Brian,
there's
you gotta
Durran's
send me
daughter.
that.
Hello.
Brian's
Larry,
video with the
there's
chickens.
your lady.
The
Addison,
only
say, hey, Mr. Larry.
Wait, be quiet. I'm talking to Durran's daughter. How are you, my darling? You
Say
look
hey to
terrific.
everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
You got to be able to hear them. I'm having technical difficulties. It's still connected to my car. Let me take my headphones out. There we go. No, that'll work, sweetheart. Now say it. You can talk. They can hear you.
guys.
Hey, young lady, how are you?
How are you? It's so nice to see you. And don't worry about dinner. We're going to go to Uncle Brian's house and we're going to eat one of his pet chickens.
Tell them we don't do chicken.
They are those are my pet
Don't
chickens.
cause trauma,
Those are
Larry.
We're about to have tacos, right?
Yes.
Tacos.
Okay, pretty as you are, you can get away with
walnuts and beans.
Taco Wednesday.
That's
love it.
right. All right, so that's enough. All right, thank you guys.
All right,
Enjoy.
Take care.
All right, brother.
No, Brian's
Hey,
chickens.
Darren, so we don't
person
forget you. Let's get Darren in. He's been joining us so regularly, and it's such a pleasure. And then my buddy Ron Baus is here. Nicest dealer you ever meet. Darren, Ron, tell us about spring and what the heck's going on, Darren.
I'm just so glad I joined late, but I joined. It's I'm in a different time zone. It's spring. I'm out working. It feels good. The same thing that the dealership had the doors open yesterday. It was beautiful. I'm late to the meeting tonight because I'm out for a run with the general manager of the dealership. Some people play golf, some people do other things, but we're out for a run. And it's like that mindset. And he's like, I can't believe we're out running. I haven't run for a while. I was like, we're doing that stuff, and it feels good. And it feels good to be outside. Spring, deals are cooking, people are talking. I'm encouraged, right? Like the seeds are being planted and new clients are on their way, right? It's just gonna happen. Just keep on watering that garden, tilling the soil, letting that sun come out, and we'll be back at it. So listen,
Darren, I've been doing a lot of training the last 2 months. I mean, a lot of training. And in the middle of my class, towards the end, I always show slides of Roy Campanella. For anybody that doesn't know, insanely enough, in this country, black and white people couldn't play professional baseball together till Jackie Robinson broke the barrier, and then they brought in a guy from Philly named Roy Campanella. Campanella was a superstar, 3-time MVP when Willie Mays was in his prime. Then he had a car accident on an icy road, no seatbelts, no airbags, and never got out of the wheelchair. And when he wrote his book, it wasn't called Why Does God Hate Me? Or it was called It's Good to Be Alive. And man, if we forget that essential element that we're above ground, what an advantage we have. We're done. I don't think a guy like you ever has that problem, though. You always look pretty happy.
Keep pushing through, baby. Keep pushing through.
I do have a question for everybody because I haven't really noticed it at all. Have you seen any kind of remember back in the day pre-COVID where during tax time you would see this, like you could notice the increase in the traffic in the store and the deals going out. I haven't really noticed any drastic increases. You can't even notice that it's tax season right now. Have y'all been able to tell?
Brian, it's because people, I'm not being a smart aleck now. You know, we both tend to lean towards the assumed political side, but people are living off their credit cards. And people are so screwed up between what they owe to everybody with this crazy interest rate. I think we're not seeing the same impetus that we normally see. Normally it was a boon. You were even or flat, and all of a sudden a big check rolled your way.
Well,
At least
sales
that's what
are
I'm
up.
saying.
It says sales were up 6.3% nationally for February, but I think it's more spread out, I guess, because there was a point in time where them sales teams had to be loaded up. You just knew tax season for that quarter. That time frame was like
right. All kidding aside, the checks are delayed. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Wall Street Journal and the news. They're having trouble processing the returns that are supposed to be coming in.
Oh no,
so
I didn't know.
Yeah, between people being a little overdebted, and it's not being like, hey, I'm old. I remember when cars came out in September, and then you had a Datsun Nissan, which came out in the middle of the year. So it became like an irregular pattern rather than, hey, it's September.
Well, you would think with 87,000 new IRS agents, they would be a little bit more efficient in time.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Dang, yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, they're
It
going
does get a little bit more
car
complicated
dealers,
than just
though.
tax season, though.
Yeah.
They're shaking
just
out
to
the
give
car dealers, Russell. They're not.
Listen, so you all know Russell Hill will have 600 clients by the end of the year. You can count on that. He will also not be Joe Biden's campaign manager. You can count on that just as much.
You can take that one all the way to the bank, baby.
Yeah, they're
from
training
North Texas, not South
IRS
Texas.
guys to shoot guns, not to be accountants.
Yeah, they can carry guns too. That's right.
Nikki Haley's looking for work too right now. So
yep, she
everybody's hiring.
Just as a little bit of context on the taxes and so
Hey,
forth.
Ron,
there
can
was
you
a,
can you unmute, or are you in the middle of something?
No. I'm just sitting here checking emails. I'm good. What's happening?
Yeah, what we want to know from you, my buddy. It's spring. Now Ron's had a little bit of spat of bad luck with illness. That goofy flu's going around. So I know you may not be enjoying spring as much as us because you're manning every gun turret. But other than that, are you looking forward to your team getting back and getting rocking and rolling again?
Well, I have to laugh because I'm listening to a couple of the guys that talked about, they open the doors, the sun's out. Man, I feel like I've built Noah's Ark and I'm just waiting for it to get lifted, man, because it's nothing but rain here for like it's just, and it ain't getting any easier for the week. But that's all good. I mean, I was talking a little bit earlier. I had my size store. We have about 40 employees, and I've had just the last couple of days 8 employees out, key managers. So I've been chef, cook, and bottle washer for the last couple of days. Not a complaint. I love what I do. I just jump in and do what I need to do. But I will tell you, I'm starting to see the winter was rough. I don't think that goes without saying. I'm a Chrysler dealer, so if you follow my brand, we're not exactly the most popular right now. So I'm kind of got a couple of strikes going against us with these hybrids and electric, and we're I think we're going back to that old the old way of let's throw some mega rebates on that kind of, which is good, so I'll take it because we're going to need it because a lot of people that are buried. We haven't seen the pop yet, but then again the weather has not been really cooperative. I think it was I don't know, the one day we had last Saturday, and it was beautiful weather, and we had half a dozen car deals, and that was good for us. But we are definitely, I'm anxious to, get the spring.
Ron,
hey Ron, a couple of the guys wanted to really meet the head guy from Stellantis. Is it possible for you to let him out of your trunk so we can come on air and we can say hello to him?
I think it's a long line, buddy.
Ron, you and I have had a couple conversations, and one of the things that we've talked about is the challenges that Chrysler dealerships, aka Stellantis dealerships, are having, and how we both anticipate moving through this spring and summer with fixed ops as being the main source. I'm going to throw out a big thing to you, and I don't know if you've talked to Russell yet, but please talk to Russell. The reason why is that his program is probably one of the best programs I've ever seen for fixed ops and driving revenue as an ROI base. I've never seen the returns that he can actually show legitimately, not pie in the sky stuff, but actual returns. And that will allow you to move into the summer through the spring at a low cost and have instantaneous gratification.
Listen, I'm happy to go back and revisit, look at anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not making excuses. I spent the last 2 days in service, and I am just dumbfounded at how hard they make this than what it has to be. Now,
Well,
I understand. Listen, I'm the owner, so a technician is going to look at me a little different when I hand them a job.
Yeah, they
so
are.
I get that. But at the end of the day, you know, the politics that come in, the basic fundamentals of, you know, we set certain things in place, the, you know, procedures and whatnot. And, you know, I go back and I'll just give an example, like, you know, the route sheet. So, you know, I have 2 writers that have their own route sheets, and then I have my used and new car department on the route sheet. So, you know, I go back and I'm trying to look to see what, you know, the accountability of it. And half my stuff is not even on the route sheet. So the long and short of it is, hey, I bring it in, I get it corrected. Now, again, I'm down 4 techs. 3 of them are A techs. So I'm really I'm on a really like kind of skeleton for the last couple of days. And my point is, we managed to get caught up with most of the recalls, frame and safeties, any walk-ins that are coming in, stuff like that. And, you know, look, listen, I love what I do, but if I wanted to be a service manager, I would be a service manager. So I have a culture conflict, if you will, a little bit. And of course, you always find this out when people aren't present. So everybody being out sick, all right, let's roll our sleeves up and see what we're dealing with. And, you know, then you start to see, you know, and I don't want to like, you know, crap on my staff because they're good people, because I've seen what the challenges are, you know, from trying to get recalls fixed. We don't have the correction for it. We don't have, you know, the parts availability, stuff like that. There's a few things that go kind of strike against them, but some of the basic fundamentals they've got to come back in. So you know, my schedule for the most part is clear. Clearly, fixed ops is going to be the you know, the thorn in my side, and it's not a bad thorn, but nonetheless.
Hey, Ron, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
As far as like the on the, let's take the EV side, knowing all of the losses, are they like dispersing that amongst owners like yourself to kind of eat that cost blanketly across the board, or is that something that the company just took on and took the hit itself?
Good question.
Well, I'd hate it, you know, we're kind of like on our own. There's right now there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect between the dealers and the manufacturer.
Yeah.
And so therefore, you know, their idea of making things up come a little bit differently. They're not going to come out and say, hey, you know, we messed up, we're sorry. But they're going to, you know, they're going to try to fix things in their own way.
Wait a minute, Ron, is this something
yeah.
new? Because I've never heard of any schism between dealers and manufacturers before. This is brand new. I never heard this before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It only happens in the spring, Larry. It
only happens on days of the week that have the word day in it.
Yeah,
Larry, you don't. You've been only doing this 5 years longer than I have. So
hey, listen, only because we're zipping along. We got 2 of my favorite people on, and they haven't said a peep yet, and that's Jeff, Scherer, and Wendy. Let's hear from them, and then we'll cycle back to everybody.
We'll give Jeff the closing. We'll go to Wendy because she always gets the last word in, but we'll go with Wendy first.
Okay, so spring is really exciting to me, you guys, and you've all already said it. It's a season of rebirth and renewal, and I love that. And I miss being in Wisconsin, where telltale sign was me going out with the rake and raking out all the all brown grass so that the bright green growth could come in and all my perennials could start coming in, and you know, the crocus and the tiger lilies and all that stuff that can happen in Wisconsin that can't happen in Arizona. Here
I
I
mean, you
still
don't rake
wish-
the rocks?
Here I still wish. Actually, we do. We painted rocks wherever we were.
It was in
Wherever-
Vegas.
We were in Vegas.
Hard on the lawnmower though.
We were at a we got to go to rock painting. Anyway,
Wait a minute, Wendy. If you missed the green, I'm sure Ron can send you a picture of some electric vehicles that have been sitting so long they're growing a fungus on the back of this lot. Would that be correct, Mr. Baus?
well,
You don't even have to answer. Go ahead, Wendy. I'm sorry.
but some of the stuff is the same. Like we talk about pit stops, we talk about tires, and I always think of windshield wipers too, because whether it's the salt and the cold that destroyed them over the winter, it's the impending heat in Arizona that's going to kill both the same way that the cold extremes do up in the Midwest. So to me, it's tires, and the mind always starts working with our outbound service campaigns about, you know, throwing tire specials in there. So, and in Arizona, they pretty much go 9 months out of the year. But anyway, so I look forward to that. Interesting thing for our industry. Brian, you asked about the traffic. I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that the lead gen is kicked up a notch, but people forgot how to sell appointments, my friend.
Right.
So where they either farmed out the leads to the sales department, who have a completely different mindset and want to pre-qualify them all on the phone because they don't want to sit there with them all afternoon in the showroom,
Right.
or it's the BDC sitting there like order takers because it was post-COVID and they didn't have to work for them. Now we're presented with a situation where they don't have people who know how to sell appointments and not cars in the phone, in the dealership. So, and also 2 pieces. I've had such an influx of calls, you guys, just for strategy. I just signed a 7-dealer group that, and this is important, guys. I just sold a 7-store group on the East Coast that was using a large BDC that got outsourced, that got caught up in a buy sell, and they diluted the customer experience and the performance for the dealer clients, and they're all leaving them, and they're trying hard to scurry to get them back by offering them price cuts and everything else, but they've lost trust. So you got to be careful if you outsource. So here, let me sum it up and just say that they were sleeping, they're awake. If they're going to outsource, they need to make sure their outsource company is performing, if not get a new one. And if they're in-house, like what we did is we went to Tucson because we have a dealer that again went with a large outsourced BDC who they thought could do better than their own in-house team. And they were recommended by another company in the state. So they did. And within 3 weeks, the results were catastrophic.
Right.
And they're like, and I'm like, even though I do outsource BDC, like Brian, I don't want to take the business if I can save the team on site.
Right.
So that's what we did. I reviewed for a 1.5-day discovery. They just got to make a couple of tweaks. If it ain't broken, I mean, if it's broken, you can fix it, but don't throw it away or don't look for a red pill or a blue pill if you haven't talked to someone who can help you at the dealership level.
What you got?
Wendy, it's not just BDC. These people have just forgotten to sell, period.
Yeah.
The eye contact, smiling at people, answering your phone. It's crazy. I mean, I'm not complaining. Me and Brian Maxwell love it.
Well, I think it's a lot of fear mongering. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I mean, I really it's just people right now are just programmed to be combative. So I'm, that's why I don't take any of it personal. To me, I realize if you can get somebody to just have a conversation, and I'm not talking about from the sales side. We always say, get to a customer, have a conversation. No, I mean, literally, if you can get somebody to get their guard down enough just to be willing to have a conversation, it's just getting past that initial point. I realize with a lot of people, I'm just talking about in the everyday, forget.
Yeah.
On the business side, I will say my credibility really matters a lot more than what it did a few years ago.
That's right.
Due to the influx of all it is, everybody became a guru and a lot of people got in business after the pandemic that probably should have never been in business and
they're on their way out.
Yeah, they screwed some people over in a major way. And so now when you coming around, and even if they familiar, but they never dealt with you before, it's like, how do we know what's behind the curtain? So now I realize transparency is everything now, and
Everything.
content is really
And
king.
referrals and relationships in our business.
Yeah.
Also, the value of those of us who are OGs in the industry, that even if we don't sign a book of business with a potential, with a dealer, just to be there to strategize with them, to just give them a 30-minute conversation just to evaluate what they're doing. Yeah, go
Yeah.
on site, do this, that, whatever. I didn't even charge the guy in Arizona because this guy's been searching for a solution for 3 years. He you
Yeah.
know, I pitched him for outsource 3 years ago. The man's still struggling. I said, we're 2 hours away. Let me just sit with your team for a day, and boom. So we're people helping people. We need to help the people. We need to strengthen the relationships. We need to talk to one another. We need to refer our dealer partners to other people that we know do have integrity and have stood the test of time and are not smoke and mirrors and just materialize as quick as they'll disappear once the smoke and mirrors and pony show's over.
Love it.
Exactly.
Hey, before we go to my boy Jeff Scherer, we got Rhonda. Rhonda and I are conjuring up intricate plans to take over the planet with training and recruiting. Don't worry, I'm going to give you your own continent, Brian Maxwell. You'll be cool. Ron, I know you hate the cold like I do. What are you excited about the most about spring? And then we'll hear from our friend, Mr. Scherer.
I can't wait to get my hands dirty in my garden.
I love it.
That's
There you
I live
go.
for that.
You and Durran.
Yeah.
There's something about.
I'm
There's
thinking,
something about.
yeah, that's
Yes,
it. That's
ma'am.
exactly it.
Sticking
I
your
would love to
hands in
get
the-
chickens like Brian
Yeah.
has.
The
Yeah, I'm
ground's
out.
still
And I
frozen
may
up
just
there in
do
PA.
that.
The ground's still frozen in PA, isn't it?
No, wait a minute. I'm picturing
No, it's
Rhonda.
not.
Oh.
It wasn't that cold.
Hey, Brian, I'm picturing Rhonda, a Jewish lady from the suburbs chasing the chickens. Does anybody remember Green Acres? She's
Yeah,
perfect for the
that's
Eva
it.
Gabor role.
Hey,
That's
I'm
it.
a 6'5" black man from
I'm
Detroit. with
Hungarian
chicken.
just like she is too.
Anything's possible.
Okay, I've gotten us off the rails as usual. Mr. Scherer, get us back on track, will you?
Well, I want to say to Brian, after living in Florida for 20 years, man, I always loved that 1 week in March where you could open your windows.
Yeah.
And I think about this a lot when it's the bad daylight savings, which is what's hitting us now, right, this weekend. But I think of a quote by John Maxwell that says, change is inevitable, but growth is optional. So nothing we can do about, leaving work in the dark. But, how do we grow, man? And, Peter and I had a spirited conversation with a new friend of Peter's that I introduced him to last night for, man, what were we on for, like 2.5 hours, I think. Man, it was great. But it's just what you started with, Larry, and echoing Brian, the friendships that we've made here with each other, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I really cherish everybody in the room. And you know what? I like this room because it's not all things used cars where there's 200 people in there, which has got its place and it's very, very interesting. But man, it's nice to hear everybody be able to talk and share.
Well, and the one thing I don't like about a lot of these shows is these people get on and pontificate for 20 minutes. I ain't interested in anything for 20 minutes. Let us hear your story. Let us hear a joke. Let's move on to the next guy. Life is too damn short, to get the.
Right on, man.
Let me just tell a quick story. In 1992, I moved to Scotland, and I went and worked for Ford Motor Company over there, and had a great job. I worked in the inside of an office building, so I didn't have a window. I was in an inside office. Come September-ish, September or October, it would get dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it would stay dark until 10 o'clock in the morning. So you would go to work in the dark. You work all day in the building. You would never see daylight, and you come out and it would be dark again.
I'm out.
So in
Not
the
for me.
winter, I never saw daylight unless I went out for lunch. And in the summer, it was the complete opposite. It was light out. You could play golf. You could start a game of golf at 10 o'clock at night and play golf until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Peter, are you sure that wasn't Alaska?
Yeah, well, it's on the same parallel, but it's so when you talk about spring, the essence of light and growth is absolutely incredible and what it does to the psyche. And I can tell you, after 4 years in Scotland, seeing light was a damn good thing. And
well, the whole story of vampires revolved around the fact that most people wither when it's dark, that their appearance changes, they're more prone to depression. So I mean, we all seek the light. I mean, it's different if you're 19 and you're running around till 4 o'clock in the morning, but going through a daily basis and dealing more with being in the dark than in the light, it's just naturally depresses. I just don't think
emanates fear. It emanates fear, Larry. Yeah. Right?
Exactly. And that's the greatest thing about the car business. Once we get into the spring and summer months, and you're outside and you're not worrying about, you're not under the 10,000 watt lights at night, you're in actual daylight and you're outside at 7 o'clock in the evening talking to customers. Oh, it was my favorite time. It was
Peter, how were the golf courses over there?
Yeah.
How were the golf courses in Scotland?
Oh, well, it's the birthplace of golf.
Right. Yeah.
So the golf courses are the best in the world. But I was at St. Andrews. There's nothing like it. But on that note, I wanted to announce something that got put towards me, which was quite amazing to me, at least. And UVI, I don't know if anyone's familiar with them, but they've asked me to do a speaking engagement for them on the 19th of this month. So it was a very unique thing that they came up to me, and because of how I feel about the company, and they asked me to do that for them, and it was really unique. And that was in lead to tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, I have a clubhouse room that I started because honestly, I'm in this business for one reason: to help people and help dealers and help vendors and help everybody. And my room tomorrow night is automotive innovators and disruptors. To challenge things, you have to disrupt things. And if you can't disrupt things, you're going to remain the same thing. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Right.
So we have to challenge them, we have to disrupt them, and we have to change them to experience growth. And that's the whole purpose of the room. It's to discuss the people that are doing it and the people that have done it and why they're doing it.
And we got to do it. And while we're talking spring, we have to do it with a positive attitude and a smile on our face.
Yeah,
because
Peter
the
sounded like
negativity all
AOC for a
around us
minute.
is ugly.
You sound
Exactly.
like AOC, Peter.
So Russell, you'll notice that you're on that top 10 list as well.
What are you talking about? Top 10 list.
Go look at my postings on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's been one of those. If you did something today, man, I mean, it has been a whirlwind day.
You're part of the top 10.
Oh, well,
so,
man, I'm honored. Thank you.
So
I really
take
am.
a look.
Wait a minute. What about me? You said I was number 97. Is that bad? Because you said it only went from 1 to 10.
No, it's just 97.
You're in double digits right now there. you gotta move up a bit.
You're still there, Larry. No fear.
You're in double digits. You haven't broken out of the 100 yet.
Story of my life. This is what happens when you're shy and quiet. You're often overlooked.
So I was thinking about what Peter said at the beginning about, people pontificating if the glass is half empty or half full, and March winds blow me in. And while they're pontificating, I just take the glass, drink it, and keep going down the road,
Right.
Exactly. I'm not there to. Hey, you want to be negative? Be negative. I don't care. I don't
do it
really
somewhere
care.
else.
Yeah. I'm going right by you.
But most of us are pretty protective of that. Would you agree, Peter? I mean, I'll try to move somebody in a direction of, you know, where they're at today and where they want to go, and if I can help them. But if they want to remain negative, man, I'll tell you what, my time has run out. You're 5
I'm
minutes.
very
is over.
selfish with that.
That's
very
right.
If you can't
Have to be,
elevate,
man.
if you can't elevate somebody, walk away from them before they try to drag you
Hey,
down.
hey, don't just love them where they're at. Move on down the road and say, I love you, man. Gotta go.
Yep, respect you. Do you think?
It is so true, because if we look at things and we see things from our eyes, we don't see them from the other people's eyes, and we can look and we can have that honest, open conversation and say, hey, this is what I see, this is what you see. Where's the challenge? If we can't accept the challenge or the delta in between us, well, so be it. I'm never going to fault someone for having their own opinion. That's just your opinion. An opinion's neither right nor wrong. It's just an opinion. And people will look at me and say, hey, how did you come up with that? And I tell them, and if they don't like it, so
I got to tell you, sometimes it's a few times it's happened over the years, because I've been in this business a long time. But I had a particular stance on something or a belief in something. Now I'm always open and listen to people and exchange, as long as somebody's not trying to force something down my throat. We can pick up on those people pretty quick, but genuinely try to understand and where I'm coming from. And recently somebody asked, well, Russell, you didn't used to think that way. What changed? And I said, well, I was open and got new information, and I'm changed my mind. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We have that right. Yeah.
That's right.
Hopefully that's the way we go through life. You know,
well, unfortunately most people don't, but I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we've snuck over our hour. Man, I think this is one of the better shows. It was so good to see our founder Brian Maxwell back on, and have such a great group of people, and hey, we even had Durran's daughter on. So we'll try to come up with something really cool and fun next week. Let's support Peter tomorrow in Clubhouse.
Absolutely.
Let's make sure we always check out Wendy, 11 a.m. on Wednesday, Human Side of AI. And I'll be talking, Russell, to you about more stuff. Mike, you and I have some business we have to take care of. And Ron, I'll be calling you afterwards to solve the tech problem. And Wendy and Fred and everybody else, what a pleasure to see. And thank you so much for being part of our crew. We appreciate you to death.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see everybody.
Be blessed.
Yeah. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy spring,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Have a great week, guys.